You just listen to the beginning of this.
Ideally, of course, we would be structuring policy that is taking in mind the risks of those who are highest risk. But given that a decision has been made to open everything up and likely remove mask mandates, etc.
So here's the story in Canada, folks. In Canada, redneckism reigns, right? It's as bad as in the States, but I mean, for me, it's bad everywhere equally because I see it from the outside perspective. So I see it in the MPs as much as I see it in the rednecks in their trailers outside of the Parliament buildings, right? So let me just get more light on myself. One thing I want to say is I'm very disappointed in Jordan Peterson, who does not have the big picture of what's happening and who's compromised by his popularity, his contractual and financial obligations, his ego really, and his willingness to share his voice without projecting in the future what this means. And there'll always be people like that, and I'm disappointed that he's so easily compromised in this way. And again, I would refer him to connect with me on the topic of HsD and of let's say both of us becoming friends for the sake of being each other's lightning rods in case I become famous as well. And that's not something that I would easily allow, as easily as he would or other people would, because it's a great way to become compromised as a mind that has potential to become famous in the ways that today pretty much compromises everybody. Pretty much, some people like Jules say, "Oh, I saw this coming and it happened to me, and I saw it in everybody, and I did it too, and then I'm out of it," but really not out of it at all. So it just kind of people just kind of convince themselves that they have a more unique story to tell, but really it's the same HsD. It's the same with everybody. They're all compromised in their ability to, let's say, objectively evaluate their lives. But what I wanted to say is, and again, I don't even know if I can vote, okay? And I'm waiting on politicians and public servants to answer me if I can vote. And I was born in the National Capital Region on the Quebec side. So, I have a Canadian passport. But again, if I would vote, I would put on it, and I haven't voted in years because there hasn't been any suitable candidates that I want to put my voice to. So and today it would be the same. But I wanted to say about Justin Trudeau is the limited videos that I've seen of him in the House and with the other MPs' videos as well, is I would say that he may be at the best that he's ever been. And he's not perfect, and I wouldn't vote for him, and I wouldn't vote for anybody because I have human standards for what I would lend my vote to. But I got to say that he is dealing with a lot more than what's happening in Ottawa. And I want to say that with the videos I've seen, and there's a lot of misinformation by the people that claim that there's misinformation. And if you evaluate their videos, I don't even think they see that they are doing it worse than CBC is. But again, they can't see that. They're compromised by HsD, which I hope somebody will ask one question at my question and answer period tomorrow on that. Is some of the MPs like Pierre Poilievre, and I'm going to stop pointing the finger at him because it's fairly common within his party, but to actually say the things that they're saying, which is a bigger threat to their own government, the stability of their own government, than what the protesters are doing outside, and how people are saying Trudeau has this power that he'll never give up, and that it's all it's like omniscient, it's omnipotent power. It's ridiculous, and it's not written that way, and it would not have been passed that way, and it's not at all like people that claim that there's misinformation but that push it themselves are saying. So it's actually going to be done right, I believe, and it's going to end when it's supposed to end. And right now what's happening in Ottawa is so well done from what I see with the police, and it's a good idea that they're allowing media to do it, and also to do it live as much as possible without giving the advantage of somebody that's in the trailer that may be watching it live, because it could give them the advantage if they want to, shoot or detonate something at the last minute, because it's a risky situation. And the MPs that are actually criticizing him for this could actually not even realize, or not even claim or admit, or even be smart enough to become aware of this, that their safety could have been compromised without this. And yet they want to attack this political party, that person. The NDP leader, the NDP would be a party I would vote for, but the leader right now is promoting also a religion. And for me, again, human standards, I can't promote religion. And it's not the only reason I wouldn't have voted for the Green Party with Anime Paul. It's also a lot of incongruences and cognitive dissonance. It's not the fact that if somebody claims to be religious at this time of history, I'm sorry, but it's pretty, it doesn't fit my human standards. It can fit yours if you want. And again, it's not the right of somebody to choose what to believe in that I'm attacking. It's just that when we have human standards and we have leadership roles, then you can't have somebody that includes the supernatural in it. And MPs in the Conservative Party, well, they are, pretty nasty hypocrites, at the point that in this time in history, where it's already hard enough for Trudeau, who's in this role, and who many of them wouldn't even do as well as he's doing right now in this role at this time, going through the same things, including possibly the beginning of World War III right now, where a lot of nations are trying to align, and there's a lot of things going on in their capitals. There's a lot of things going on with the Olympics, with intelligence agencies, that you still don't know if you can trust your own or not, your own police or not, your own military or not. It's a world of chaos, and none of these MPs, these conservatives, let's say, would do better than Trudeau right now. And again, Trudeau is not human standards qualified. I don't know anybody that would be qualified. That includes Jordan Peterson, most certainly, to be the leader of a nation that might have like a bigger decision making, depending on how their government works, than others at a time of history. I don't know anybody that's competent for this right now. So I would actually say treason on some of the MPs right now that are attacking him at this difficult time, instead of uniting as a government when danger is right outside the building, but also when Trudeau should be focusing a lot more on what's happening with the World War III possibilities with Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that. And the U.S. are dangerous people. The USA is most wars that may or may not begin since I've been born are directly linked to the USA and their inability to realize that wanting to be the top of everything all the time is creating all these conflicts. I mean, it's pretty clear if you ask the right people that are studying history. Another thing I'm disappointed in is scientists. Scientists that should be the ones who are actually petitioning a lot more things. I saw an older video of Jordan Peterson saying how universities have created a lot of the issues that we have in the young people today, or the uneducated people. You can go see what he said in his own way. I think it was on Bill Maher. But I've been stating this as an aspect of HsD for a long time. I mean, I fired my own faculty for the same things that Jordan Peterson's saying. Even Freeman Dyson is also saying the PhD process is screwed up, and the elitism in there is a little bit like, politics. So again, science has failed us, but science is not a thing to agree or disagree with. The scientific method is a process, and even scientists can do it badly and be compromised. But to actually have these people out there thinking they're fighting for freedom, and they're convinced, like it's a cultish kind of crazy thinking, and they really believe they're fighting for my freedom or other people's freedom, when they can't even incorporate other people in their sentience or sapience or understanding of the real world. It's pretty scary. And that includes MPs who actually, simplify things black and white all the time in these complex shades of gray times that we're living in right now. It's pretty insane. So again, if this was a human society, we'd be arresting as many MPs right now as we would be people outside doing their winter carnival of redneckism in Ottawa. So bravo I'm glad that the Ottawa police are going to be investigated, and I think there was always tendencies to investigate them, and I think in a way them being given a chance and predicting that they would be compromised in this way was going to add power to others to oversight them and investigate them, because I also have at least 3 issues in the past where they have illegally done things or interfered with things in civil matters that have caused me to lose money with tenants, jobs, things like that. And I wasn't the one at fault, they were. And even to pass criminal record checks at certain times when I didn't do anything wrong, but others did. And it's not personal, but I'm happy that they would be investigated a bit more on how they failed. Because now people might say Trudeau is shutting us down. Do you know how long this has lasted, and how all this time there was nothing useful or productive in their voice, that they didn't want us to shut down these protesters? Like, to go this long and to put that many videos online, their supporters, that had so little content to it other than just throwing words around and passion and feelings and commitment to their messages of redneckism, and not knowing how it correlates with anybody else in the real world, and also how it could bring about cultural repair or change. It wasn't there at all, but they were allowed that long, is saying that they did allow your freedom of speech, but you had nothing intelligent to say for that long. And you've been given so many warnings that it's time to leave now because you'll be arrested if you don't. But you had weeks of saying things that I never got a chance to say, because I did it in different ways, where I write letters and I kind of followed the paperwork way that they wanted me to do it. And again, my voice is lost. And the thing is it's kind of too late, right? The intelligent people that could have helped, they know it's a lost cause now. And redneckism, as much as they're passionate, are still the minority. Now this doctor at the beginning was talking about, people that are vulnerable, and for economic reasons, really, is what it is, not the scientific paradigms of what is still happening in the struggles of our medical system that are still. So what the petition should have been about was to reinforce our failing medical systems. And again, we're going back to universities. The elitism of universities and money of blending private and public sectors in the medical field is the biggest poison that should have been talked about by these guys, the protesters. But they're making it about, what they consider to be Canadian, but I don't. And their redneckism, which I do not at all identify with, is not at all how I define freedom. And especially when I see that it makes me worried about their kids. And also, what's bad is the media covering all this redneckism for so long. So Trudeau allowing them to have a voice and not shutting it down for that long is harmful, because it helps to grow redneckism in Canada. People will now feel justified to say as many stupid things and to act in as many stupid ways, including with their kids, as these people have done. So we have lowered, by giving these rednecks a voice for that long, we've lowered the standards that were already subhuman in Canadian society. So again, Trudeau and anybody else who may or may not replace him is in a lose-lose scenario in politics with what's coming in the world. But please, can you actually stop fighting among parties like in high school and actually start concentrating on the real world that's going to hit all of your kids in the face, no matter where you think they are safe to be? And I'm talking about all of the things that's about to crash in our interconnected proto-civilizations, including natural world-related stuff, not just our failing social systems. Work on this. Stop arguing and stop having a passionate voice that says nothing.